Inside this bag I've got a piece of equipment to show you which is quite unusual but quite cool. Now what's inside this box is not going to be appropriate for most of you, but for the people it is appropriate for, it has potential to be life-changing. This is a small plastic bag. High Path Engineering Limited loan unit ER swing crank. So these guys have lent me this. I could play with this all day. This is a High Path Engineering swing crank, which is comprised of two parts. First, you have a crank shortener. That's the part that I just bolted to my crank. The installation is fairly simple. I have actually missed out, because this is just temporary, I'm not going to ride it outside, these two little cams which make it ultra secure when you fix it with this strap to your crank. So it threads in and then it's strapped on as well. Once you've installed that, then you have a second piece, which is the actual swing crank. This threads into one of 4 holes which is on the crank shortener and then gives you the position that you desire to shorten your crank and be able to pedal a bike if you can't extend your leg. Use a pulse swing crank when one of your knees doesn't bend as much as it should. It enables your leg to contribute as much effort as it can without being lifted so high. Adjustable for different degrees of disability, uses your existing crank and pedal, no need to alter your riding position. So if you have no problems with extension in your other leg, it won't be affected. You can still have a full range of motion and hopefully loads of power. Now I'm very lucky to have full extension in both of my legs, but that's not the case with everybody. I actually found out about this crank when I was with Bike Fit James in his studio, and he had a customer come in with one leg that he couldn't extend fully. It just so happens that we have some of that footage, and here's a clip of James explaining why and how to use the swing crank to help with the guy's position.
This was a case study with a guy called Shane, who had severe limitations in both extension and flexion of his knee, and this was the best I could get it. This has got a 155mm crank fitted to it, and you can see that he's having to severely lift his hip through the top of the stroke because he can't flex his knee, can't bend his knee any more than he currently has. So as a result, he's severely plantar flexing the foot in order to get over the top of the stroke, and just, you can see, obviously it's going to have massive ramifications in the saddle. His ability to get over the top of the stroke and how it impacts his interaction with the saddle. I mean, so actually, you know, you can see this in this clip, he's actually not even able to really complete a pedal stroke properly. So, a few conversations with some bike fitting friends of mine, and one of them threw out the concept of a swing crank, which is, I don't have here to show, but you're going to get one, aren't you? It splits itself in half, so you have it allows you to get the same length, the same maximum length, but it effectively halves itself at the top of the stroke. The results, however, were pretty incredible. The difference being a massive impact, a massive reduction in that lift in the hip. He's no longer having to plantar flex the foot. You know, incredible difference in stability just overall, and it took a guy who was basically unable to ride a bike at all to being able to ride a bike with no pain whatsoever. I haven't actually spoken to Shane or caught up with him recently, but I haven't heard from him, which is a good thing. So yeah, and you know, as you can see, massive impact in overall stability. Sometimes you just got to challenge convention. Like, it's all about what works rather than just conforming to generalization and rule of thumb. Sometimes you got to think a little bit outside of the box.
So I realise this is a bit of an unusual piece of equipment. It's not going to be for everybody, but I hope this video serves to at least inform a few thousand people that this crank exists. I truly believe that everybody should be able to ride a bike in comfort, and this is going to go a long way to making a lot of people a lot more comfortable on the bike. So if anybody watching this has friends who can't extend their legs, maybe point them in the direction of High Path Engineering, because this is a really well designed, well functioning, and just a brilliant idea that really should make a difference to people's lives. As we all know, riding a bike can be great exercise, but is also complete freedom. It gets you to work. Cycling can do so many good things for a person, and this might allow someone who hasn't considered cycling or can't cycle to be able to ride a bike. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'll put a link to High Path Engineering page down below, and see you guys soon.